Before you decide to scroll, pause. Not because of fear, not because of pressure, but because something rare is happening right now. Out of billions of moments that could have unfolded today, this exact one opened in front of you. And no, this was not random. There is a reason your attention slowed, a reason your heart felt a quiet pull instead of noise, a reason these words found you when they did. This message was not released into the world by accident. It was released for timing, and timing always speaks louder than coincidence. Take a breath, not a rushed one, a real one, because the truth is, most people will never hear what you are about to hear, not because they are unworthy, but because they are distracted, because they rush past moments that were meant to stop them. You didn't. There are seasons in life when nothing seems to move, even though everything inside you is changing. You felt that, haven't you? That strange space where you're not who you used to be, but not yet who you're becoming. Where answers don't shout, they whisper. Where progress isn't loud, but it's real. This message exists for that season. Right now, something unseen is aligning quietly in the background of your life. Not dramatically, not forcefully, gently, carefully, intentionally. The kind of alignment you only recognize later, when you look back and realize, that moment changed everything. And here's what most people never realize. Messages meant for transformation don't arrive with noise. They arrive with stillness. That stillness you felt just now. That was not imagination. You've been asking questions without speaking them, carrying thoughts you couldn't fully explain, feeling ready for more, but unsure what more even means yet. And the universe, life, call it what you will, does not ignore honest readiness. It responds, not instantly, but precisely. This is not about predicting the future. It's about revealing the pattern. Every major shift in your life has followed a moment like this, where something small caught your attention before something big changed your direction. A conversation, a sentence, a pause, a feeling you couldn't shake. This is one of those moments. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not overlooked. You are positioned. And positioning always comes before movement. In the next parts of this message, layers will unfold. Not all at once, not overwhelming, but clear. Clear enough to make sense of what you've been feeling. Clear enough to reconnect you with the quiet strength you forgot you had. Clear enough to remind you that growth doesn't announce itself, it reveals itself. For now, just stay present. Don't analyze. Don't rush ahead. Let the words meet you where you are. Because the fact that you're still here, listening, reading, breathing with this moment, already tells a story. And that story is only beginning. Stay right here. Not because something is about to rush at you, but because something is slowly opening. There is a moment, hidden inside every life, when understanding doesn't arrive as information, it arrives as recognition. A quiet inner nod. A feeling that says, yes, this explains what I've been sensing. That is the moment this part is designed for. You see, most people believe change begins when circumstances move, when doors open, when money arrives, when people show up, when proof appears. But that's never how it truly begins. Real change starts earlier, when your inner world reorganizes itself. That's what has been happening to you. Over the past weeks, maybe months, you've noticed subtle shifts. Your tolerance for noise has dropped. Things that once excited you now feel empty. You crave depth over speed, meaning over approval, calm over chaos. That is not boredom. That is refinement. You are being trained, quietly, to recognize what matters. And here's something very few people are told. When your awareness sharpens, your path narrows, not to limit you, but to protect you. That's why not everything fits anymore. You didn't lose interest. You outgrew alignment. This message was released at this exact moment because your internal timing reached a threshold. You reached the point where continuing without clarity would feel heavier than pausing to listen. And you chose to listen. That choice matters more than you think. Right now, you are standing at the center of three invisible lines converging. The person you were, the person you are becoming, and the life that's been quietly preparing space for you. Most people only ever meet the first two. But you are being introduced to the third. And no, This isn't about destiny being forced onto you. It's about invitation. You are not being pushed forward. You are being called inward, to remember your own authority. There is a reason your heart has been asking different questions lately. Not, how do I get there faster? But, is this even where I want to go? Not, who approves of me, but, what feels true to me? Those questions signal maturity of the soul. They mean you're ready for success that doesn't cost your peace. Let's talk about success for a moment. Real success, not the loud version. Real success doesn't scream. It stabilizes. It doesn't rush. It sustains. It doesn't demand you become someone else. It rewards you for finally becoming yourself. This is the phase you're entering. And here's the part that might surprise you. Nothing dramatic needs to happen next for everything to change. Sometimes alignment looks like stillness. Sometimes progress looks like clarity. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs come disguised as understanding. You are not behind because you slowed down. You slowed down because you're about to move correctly. There's a difference. Think about your body for a moment. Not as something separate from your life, but as a messenger. Your body has been speaking to you, asking for better rhythms, better rest, better balance, more respect, less force. That's not weakness. That's intelligence. When the mind, body, and emotions begin asking for harmony at the same time, it means you're preparing to handle more, without breaking. That's physical education at the deepest level, learning how to carry growth sustainably. And emotionally, you've been shedding layers you didn't even realize you were carrying. Old guilt, old comparisons, old urgency to prove something. You are learning to move from grounded confidence instead of anxious effort. That shift alone will change everything you touch. Now here's something important. Listen closely. Not everyone will understand this version of you. And that's okay. Some people only recognize you when you're performing, when you're rushing, when you're explaining yourself, when you're seeking permission. But the version of you that's emerging doesn't ask for permission. It listens inward first. That can confuse people. Let them be confused. Your responsibility is not to be understood by everyone. Your responsibility is to be aligned with yourself. And alignment attracts the right opportunities without chasing them. This is where love enters, not just romantic love, but self, respect, clarity, and connection. When you stop abandoning yourself to meet expectations, life starts meeting you halfway. You may notice new conversations entering your life soon, new ideas landing gently, new opportunities that feel calm instead of chaotic. That's how you'll know you're on the right path. No forcing, no rushing, no pressure, just resonance. This message isn't here to excite you for a moment. It's here to steady you for what's coming, because what's coming requires focus, presence, discernment, and you're developing all three right now. Stay with this process, not because you're waiting for something outside of you, but because something inside you is finally speaking clearly. And the more you listen, the more everything else begins to make sense. Keep breathing, keep staying present. There's more unfolding, and you're ready for the next layer. Stay with me for a moment longer, because what you're about to understand now, most people never slow down enough to feel. There comes a phase in life where answers stop coming from outside. Advice feels repetitive, motivation feels temporary, noise feels exhausting, and yet, inside, you feel more awake than ever before. That phase is not confusion. It is integration. You are integrating everything you've learned, endured, questioned, and survived. And integration always feels quieter than chaos. This is why this message had to reach you now, not earlier, not later. Earlier, you would have ignored it. Later, you would have already figured parts of it out on your own. But now it meets you exactly where your awareness can receive it. Let's talk about the invisible pressure you've been carrying. Not the obvious stress. Not daily responsibilities. The deeper pressure, the one that comes from knowing you're capable of more, but refusing to rush into the wrong direction. That pressure is not impatience. It is intelligence waiting for clarity. You've been holding back, not because you're afraid, but because you refuse to move without meaning. That's rare. And that's why your progress hasn't looked loud. You are building something internally before allowing it to manifest externally. Most people try to build success without inner structure. They collapse under it. They burn out. They lose themselves. You are doing the opposite. You are strengthening your foundation, emotionally, physically, mentally, so when growth arrives, it stays. That's not delay. That's mastery. Right now, your mind is learning how to focus without force. Your body is learning how to function without constant tension. Your emotions are learning how to exist without suppression or overflow. This is education at the deepest level. Not textbook education, life education. You're learning how to live sustainably. And that will make you unstoppable in ways speed never could. Here's something powerful you need to hear. You don't need to become more intense to succeed. You need to become more aligned. Aligned with your energy. Aligned with your values. Aligned with your truth. When alignment happens, effort reduces and results improve. That's the phase approaching you. You may have noticed lately that you're less reactive, less interested in proving points, less pulled into unnecessary conflict, more selective with your time. That's growth. It means your nervous system is calming, your awareness is sharpening, your priorities are clarifying. Calm is not emptiness. Calm is control. And control is confidence without noise. Now let's speak honestly about love, because love is not separate from success. When you respect yourself, your relationships change. You stop over-giving. You stop shrinking. You stop chasing validation. You start choosing connection over attachment. And when love becomes grounded instead of desperate, it becomes nourishing. The same applies to your work, your goals, your health. Everything begins to flow better when desperation leaves the system. You are entering a phase where effort will feel cleaner, decisions will feel clearer, and outcomes will feel more deserved, not because you fought harder, but because you listened better. This message is not here to excite your emotions, it's here to organize your inner world. Because once your inner world is organized, the outer world follows naturally. Think about how far you've already come. There were moments you didn't think you'd get through, versions of yourself you had to let go of, expectations that didn't survive reality. Yet here you are, more aware, more grounded, more honest with yourself. That's not accidental. That's preparation. And preparation always precedes opportunity. Soon, situations will arise that test this new calm within you. Not to break it, but to confirm it. You'll notice that you respond differently now. With patience instead of panic. With clarity instead of confusion. With confidence instead of comparison. That's how you'll know the shift is real. This part of your journey isn't meant to be rushed through. It's meant to be lived consciously. So if at any point you feel like slowing down, do it. If you feel like saying no, honor it. If you feel like choosing peace, trust it. Those instincts are not holding you back. They are guiding you forward. And here's the most important truth of this entire message so far: nothing is missing from you. You are not waiting to become ready. You are becoming aware of how ready you already are. That awareness will change how you move, how you speak, how you choose, how you build. Stay present. Because the next layer will reveal how this inner alignment begins turning into visible results, without pressure, without fear, without losing yourself in the process. You're doing better than you think. And the journey is unfolding exactly as it should. Stay with this moment. Not because something dramatic is about to happen, but because something meaningful is settling into place. There is a quiet confidence forming inside you now. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need validation. It feels steady, almost unfamiliar, because you're used to intensity being mistaken for progress. But this is different. This is clarity taking root. You're beginning to notice that your thoughts don't scatter as easily. Your emotions don't pull you in every direction. Your body responds faster when something feels right, or wrong. That's not coincidence. That's coherence. Your mind, body, and emotions are learning to speak the same language. And when that happens, life becomes simpler, not easier, but simpler. Decisions stop feeling heavy. Choices stop feeling forced. You stop asking, "What should I do?" and start asking, "What aligns?" Alignment is powerful because it removes friction. You don't have to push as hard when you're moving in the right direction. This is why things may feel slower on the surface but deeper underneath. You are not stalling, you are calibrating. Like a compass finding true north before the journey continues. Most people never do this. They rush with misaligned energy and call it ambition. You paused. You listened. You recalibrated. That single decision will save you years. Let's talk about your physical energy for a moment, because it's not separate from your success. Your body is no longer asking to be pushed endlessly. It's asking to be supported intelligently. Better rhythms, better recovery, better respect for limits, not as weakness, but as strategy. When you honor your body, your focus sharpens, your stamina improves, your creativity becomes cleaner. This is physical education at its highest level. Understanding that sustainable energy outperforms raw force every time. You're learning to work with yourself, not against yourself. And emotionally, you've stopped reacting to everything that used to demand your attention. You don't chase every emotion. You don't suppress them either. You observe them. That's emotional mastery. You are no longer controlled by your feelings, and you are no longer disconnected from them. You are balanced. Balance creates discernment. Discernment attracts the right opportunities and filters out distractions automatically. This is why certain doors that once seemed important now feel irrelevant. You're not missing out, you're narrowing in. Focus is not restriction. Focus is amplification. Now here's something important to understand. As you change internally, your environment will respond. Not all at once. Not dramatically. Subtly. You'll notice people interacting with you differently. Conversations feeling clearer, opportunities arriving without pressure, situations resolving with less resistance. That's not luck, that's resonance. Life responds to the frequency you consistently hold, and the frequency you're holding now is calm certainty. That frequency doesn't attract chaos, it attracts clarity. You are also learning something crucial about love, not as a concept, but as a state of being. Love that is grounded doesn't cling. Love that is healthy doesn't rush. Love that is aligned doesn't drain. This applies to relationships, work, goals, even your relationship with yourself. You no longer need to convince. You no longer need to over-explain. You no longer need to prove. You show up as you are, and what aligns stays. That's freedom. And freedom is the foundation of real success. Success that doesn't trap you. Success that doesn't exhaust you. Success that feels spacious instead of suffocating. This message is not preparing you for something overwhelming, it's preparing you for something sustainable. You are becoming someone who can receive without scrambling, grow without losing balance, and move forward without leaving yourself behind. That's rare. And because it's rare, it requires patience. Not passive patience, intentional patience. The kind where you stay engaged, stay present, stay aware, while trusting the process you've chosen. Right now, everything you're learning internally is about to become practical. Clarity will turn into direction. Stability will turn into momentum. Alignment will turn into results. But the order matters. Results come last, not first. That's why this phase feels inward, focused. You are building the inner architecture that will hold your next level. And here's the truth many people don't realize until it's too late. Growth that comes before readiness feels like pressure. Growth that comes after readiness feels like flow. You are choosing flow. Stay with this pace. Stay with this awareness. Because what's ahead doesn't require you to change who you are. It requires you to trust who you've become. The next part will reveal how this inner steadiness begins. Shaping your outer world in practical, visible ways. Without noise, without force, without losing the calm you've worked so hard to cultivate. You're not waiting anymore. You're aligning. And alignment always leads to exactly what you're ready to handle. Stay here until the end. Not because this is the last part, but because this is where everything quietly comes together. There is a moment at the end of every true transformation where nothing new is added, and yet everything feels different. That is the moment you are standing in right now. Nothing suddenly changed on the outside, but something settled on the inside. And that is how real shifts always complete themselves. You don't walk away feeling overwhelmed. You walk away feeling clear. Clear about who you are. Clear about what you will no longer tolerate. Clear about what deserves your energy. Clarity is not loud. Clarity is calm. And calm is power that doesn't need to prove itself. If you listen closely, to your own breath, your own thoughts, you'll notice something subtle. There is less urgency now. Less mental noise. Less need to rush toward the next thing. That's because you've reached understanding. You've remembered something essential. You don't need to chase alignment. You become it. From this point forward, life begins responding differently, not because you force it to, but because you're no longer sending mixed signals. Your actions will feel cleaner. Your decisions will feel simpler. Your direction will feel natural. This is what it means to move with integrity, internally and externally. And integrity creates momentum that doesn't burn you out. You may notice, in the days ahead, that you wake up with more intention. Not excitement, not anxiety, intention. You'll know why you're doing what you're doing. Even if the steps are small, they'll feel meaningful. Small steps taken in alignment outperform giant leaps taken in confusion. That is success done wisely. Physically, you'll feel more present in your body. You'll sense when to rest without guilt, when to move without resistance, when to push gently, and when to pause completely. Your body will stop feeling like something you have to manage, and start feeling like something that supports you. That partnership matters. Emotionally, you'll find that you don't need constant reassurance anymore. You trust your own rhythm. You allow feelings to pass without attaching stories to them. You choose responses instead of reacting automatically. That is emotional strength. And emotional strength changes how you experience love. Love will no longer feel like something you need to earn, prove, or chase. It will feel like something you allow, starting with yourself. You will choose relationships, work, and goals that feel mutual, respectful, and steady. You will walk away from what drains you without drama. That's not detachment. That's maturity. This entire message, from the first word to this last one, was never meant to push you into becoming someone else. It was meant to remind you that you already are enough to move forward cleanly. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need to wait for confidence to arrive from the outside. Confidence is already forming from consistency, awareness, and self-trust. And now, this part matters. You don't need to remember every word of this message. You only need to remember how it made you feel. Grounded, centered, clear. That feeling is your compass. Whenever you feel overwhelmed again, pause and return to this state. Not to these words, but to the stillness they helped you access. Because stillness is where your best decisions come from. You are not meant to rush your life. You are meant to live it consciously. From here on, let your actions be intentional. Let your pace be honest. Let your goals serve your peace, not steal it. This is not an ending. It's a quiet beginning, one that doesn't need announcement. Carry this calm forward. Build from it. Protect it. And trust this above all else. You didn't arrive at this moment by accident. And you won't leave it unchanged. Move forward gently. Everything that truly belongs to you will meet you there.